Good evening and welcome to the Robinson Pregame Show. I'm Chris Gay. This is Jay Call, and we're joined by Coach Todd Escola. Coach, thank you for being with us. We wanted to switch up the scenery a little bit, show the beautiful Charlie George Stadium behind us, as well as, of course, a little bit of beautiful Little Rock, Arkansas. But, Coach, has it been a good week of practice? I know there's been some illnesses going around, but outside of that, how has practice been?
Yeah, the heat popped back, so harder on the coaches than the kids. But it has been tough with having some kids deal with some illness. You know, we've been telling them to stay home and get to feeling better, and so it's been an opportunity to work with some younger guys this week. But we've had most of them back today, so hopefully we'll have them all back tomorrow and have a good prep tomorrow before Friday.
Well, speaking of some of the younger players, we got to see a lot of new faces and some players that maybe have been waiting their turn for a while. Got to see a lot of them against Watson Chapel. Big victory here at home, and you guys will be on a quick road trip going to Jacksonville. But what were some of the players that really stood out to you that maybe you didn't think, or maybe you knew in practice, but we haven't gotten to see much this year?
Yeah, we've got a really good sophomore class. You know, they were the first team in school history to go undefeated last year in junior high. And unfortunately, we've had 5 JV games scheduled this year, and 4 teams have canceled on us. And so that's 4 games those kids have missed. So kids like Brashawn Cunningham, you know, the running back that in 7 games last year had over 1,600 yards rushing that people hadn't got to see yet. And Reese Simpson, you know, he's a fantastic young quarterback and just hadn't got the opportunities yet this year. So we were excited to get them some playing time, and hopefully we'll have some more opportunities and, you know, knock on wood, won't have any more JV games scheduled or canceled.
Well, I know he's not a sophomore, he's a senior, but Malachi Muhammad broke out for a couple touchdowns, really showed some serious speed. What impressed you most with his performance on Friday?
He plays like he practices. You know, he soaks it all in and learning the playbook and just, you know, finding where he fits. And he's got a burst that, you know, not a lot of kids have. You know, on the speed screen the other night when he hit his second gear after about 2 steps, you know, that's hard to defend. So just a great kid, great young man.
And one other guy that also is a senior, but maybe isn't necessarily a backup. He's a guy that plays regularly, Darnell Clark. He came out. He's had some production so far this year, but he finally broke out and had a couple sacks. What impressed you most with his game?
His motor is really good. You know, he's undersized, but he's got a big heart, and he plays full speed all the time, plays with a lot of heart and a lot of passion, and good to see him make some big plays.
So last week you guys definitely went out and took care of business. It's always good to see a team go out there and, you know, handle business efficiently like you guys did. Would you want to just touch on that win? Any of your thoughts on how you think the game went?
Well, we talked, you know, for 2 weeks about not putting Lakeside away when we felt like we had an opportunity to, and what can happen when a good team, you know, gets life. And that, you know, I said it back 2 weeks ago. That's a credit to them and their program. And so we talked a lot about that. If you got the opportunity, you got to put teams away. And so I thought the kids did a good job of that. I was probably most proud of our 2-minute drill there before half. You know, we went about 80 yards in about a minute. And the kids really executed well. And, again, it was everybody stayed here. There wasn't any highs or lows. It was just go execute and do your job. And, of course, you weren't here Monday for practice, but we ran a lot Monday for jumping off sides again. You know, one of those unforced errors we talked about that we're still working real hard to instill in our kids that, you know, you don't win without discipline. And little things like that make a difference in the big games. And even though it may not have mattered Friday night, it matters to us. And those little things, if you keep harping on them every day, you know, hopefully they soak in and we get better at that. But proud of that, proud of the defense for posting a shutout. And the twos when they came in, you know, late, you know, having a goal line stand, that was big, you know, for our kids. And you don't get many shutouts. So those are really special. And defensive staff and the defensive players did a really good job.
That's always good to hear. You know, we touched on those young players. I wanted to bring up, again, Tyson Braden and Nick Abrams, both those guys go for over 100 yards. Braden through the air, Abrams on the ground. Braden had his second game in a row of 2 touchdowns through the air, and Abrams also ran in a touchdown. Maybe if you want to touch on just how impressive those guys have been up to this point in the season, and how impressive Braden has been. It seems like he's starting to get in the flow of things offensively.
Yeah, the best part about the passing game is, we felt like we were too inconsistent in the first few games. We weren't, completion rate wasn't where we wanted it, and so we worked really hard at the timing with our receivers and our quarterbacks. And I think he went 15 out of 18 Friday night, and anytime you're completing at that rate, you're going to have success. And then Nick, he played really hard. He runs the ball so hard, and we're developing. We basically got 5 tailbacks, and with him and Jordan and Deuce, you've got 3 really different type players. They bring a lot of different speeds, a lot of different challenges to defenses. So we like that 3-headed monster, so to speak. And Nick was able to do the grunt work and get the hard yards, whereas the other 2 are a little more slashers, a little more speed. But he ran the ball hard. He has, for 2 years now for us.
And before I go ahead and move on to this week's upcoming game with Jacksonville, I wanted to also touch on Deuce Williams, man. It seems like every time he gets in the backfield, he makes something special happen. What do you think going forward? How much do you think we're going to see of him in the backfield? I know because he's so electric on defense. I know you can't put him in there all the time, especially just try to give him some breaks.
Yeah, Deuce can score anytime he touches the ball. He's a fantastic athlete. As good he is on the field, it's kind of like a broken record, but it's so true. He's such a fantastic young man. He's such a great kid. He does everything the right way. But as the season goes, you'll see more of our defensive players like Deuce, transition to offense some. Tank Reese is among the best players on the field, and we hadn't seen him on offense yet, and that's coming. And so, but it's kind of one of those, we want to work all of our bodies in, and by the time we come to playoffs, we want to have the full arsenal ready. So it's still the playbook going in, and some wrinkles being put in and things like that, where those kids get an opportunity to shine.
Keeping fresh legs for later on in the season, that's definitely a good thing to look for. But going towards Jacksonville, I was commentating for Sylvan Hills for the past 2 or 3 seasons, so I've gotten a good look at Jacksonville every single these past 3 seasons. So this is going to be their first trip into 5A. Maybe if you want to touch on just having a new opponent, what that's going to be like for you guys.
Yeah, first time we've ever played Jacksonville in high school. They came to our team camp. They've got a new coach. He's doing a really good job. They've got some good young players. They've got a lot of speed. A couple of receivers that really move well, really good young sophomore running back that's a really good player. And then defensively, they run a 3-3 stack, which is great because that'll give us a game before we play Cersei, who also runs a 3-3, and it's just a little bit different with the blocking rules and things like that. Play a lot of man coverage, which we love playing against man. That creates a lot of opportunities for the kids to make big plays. So we're excited about it. It's a new challenge. It's something we don't have prior knowledge on. You don't know the tendencies quite as well as you do teams that you played in the past, and so you kind of go in with that open playbook of, let's show up and let's see what they're giving us, kind of like we did against Chapel, and what are you going to let us do offensively, and then defensively, what are you trying to attack us with, and then we're going to have to monitor and adjust a little bit on the fly.
So from what I've seen of them the past 3 seasons, they've always got talented athletes, maybe lacking a little bit of discipline, and it's kind of thrown off their seasons a little bit. I know this year it seems they've got something going defensively, and you said they like to play a lot of man-to-man. Is there any way you might expect to try to be attacking that at all? I know you probably don't want to really reveal too much, but
yeah, anytime you play man-to-man, you want to look for matchups, and we'll obviously do that. Not having seen them in person, that's something that'll happen over the first few series, is kind of gauging who they're playing where, and where can we take advantage of that. So the passing game look a little bit different this week. But anytime you play man-to-man, you're taking risks. And so it's that you may have a bad play offensively, but the next play may go 80. And that's what you've got to make sure you tell the kids, is you're going to have opportunities for big plays anytime a team plays man. And you've just got to kind of shoulder those body blows, so to speak, because you're going to have a chance at a home run. And that's one missed tackle on a 3-yard route or going over the top. It doesn't have to be a long pass to take advantage of that. And it could be in the run game. They don't have that secondary support. So if you can get to the linebacker depth, a lot of times against man teams, it's a foot race. And that's what our kids are hearing all week, and that's the film study we're doing.
Now, you mentioned the speed of the defensive backs for Jacksonville and really the whole team. They also have some size and some strength up front with Brian Johnson, one of them, as well as Michael Johnson. And the pass protection for you guys last week against Watson Chapel was outstanding. But now you're up against probably a little bit more talented of a defensive line. What's the plan of, I would say, of attack, but the plan of protection with protecting Braden?
Yeah, well, we've got several different pass pros, and we've been working all of them this week just because they're all better against certain fronts and certain stunts. So I think it's our ability to just adjust to what they're doing. We have had a couple of linemen out sick this week, and so it'll kind of depend on who's playing as to how we protect it, whether we have to bring a back in to help or an H in to help or something like that. But, when you have a team that loads the box, you bring somebody in, they're going to bring more people in. And so you kind of got to be careful with that as well. But we're confident in our kids and confident that they're going to do a good job. You need 2 seconds to get rid of the ball. So I think all of our kids can provide that kind of protection for us.
Now, you touched on their running back, also has a brother playing quarterback as well, and they're both really tremendous athletes, especially the running back, Mason Ball, being kind of a freshman sensation for them last season, but and they've already shown some moments so far this season. What's kind of the plan to kind of keep them sort of engaged with your defense?
You just don't want plays to break down. It was kind of like that last week. Chapel had a quarterback that, the moment the play breaks down, that's when you got to kind of hold your breath. And it's the same thing with Jacksonville. If you can keep them in the pocket and make them beat you with their arm rather than their legs, not have a play breakdown when they're improvising, that's a lot of times when athletes make their best plays. And so you got to contain them. Our defense played really well last week, and so I feel like they're going to come out and play well again tonight.
Now, I want to get away from the high school center for just a second. I know you've had probably a lot of opportunities to watch some of your former players playing at the next level. Of course, all Hog fans know about Marion Harris, who's held down that left guard spot all season long for the Hogs. But talk about some other guys that have got – I know DJ Withers is at Kansas, and there's a lot of other guys that have come through this program that are now playing at that next level.
Yeah, DJ's playing great at Kansas. JT Towers is starting playing great at Ouachita. Really happy for him. It's his last season. He's battled a lot of injuries in college. Jakaisen Wright at Harding scored a couple of weeks ago on a pick six. We got several kids up at UCA playing well right now. James Jordan at corner. There's honestly a ton of kids playing college ball right now. It's hard to keep up with all of them every week, but we jump around. Brandon Grail, BG, was here last week at practice one day, and of course he looks like a monster now. But he's playing well at A-State. So love it when those guys come back, and love keeping up with them on Saturday. Just real proud of all of them.
I know Gabe Bonner's really kind of come out of his shell a little bit with Ouachita too. But for those that are going to be able to, probably everybody's going to be watching the Jacksonville broadcast, what are some things that maybe new this week? You got to see a lot of new players kind of come onto the field and make some plays. But what are some new keys or new points for you to harp on with your team that you plan on really showcasing this week?
Well, you know us. It's about us getting better every week, and right now the emphasis is still on unforced errors, unforced mistakes. When you play a team man to man, you got to take advantage of those opportunities. You're going to see some shots downfield. You're going to see some opportunities to make big plays in the pass game, and if you catch the ball, you're going to score, and if you don't catch the ball, you're looking at 3rd and 10. And so that's something that we're really harping on in practice and trying to be intentional about. And we're just a couple of weeks away from getting our kicker back. Will's been doing a great job, little brother, but John at practice yesterday made a 58-yard field goal, and that's pretty impressive. That would have set the state record for all high school football in Arkansas. So, that's been a topic this week, that he's getting closer to getting back and looks stronger than ever. So really excited for him and his family. And again, Will's doing a great job. Will made a 48-yarder. So, and I think he made a 50-yarder too. So both of them got great legs, and we're blessed to have both of them, which are weapons.
Well, since now that you said John is going to be coming back soon. Is there going to be a kicker competition between the two brothers, or is it going to be,
a Tate will be kicking?
A Tate will be kicking.
And to me, it doesn't bother me whichever one goes out there. Will does a little better on the spot kickoffs. He does a great job placing the ball. If John's out there, it's going out of the back of the end zone. So that's kind of the tale.
Well, thank you all for tuning in to the Robinson pregame show. We're going to send it back to the field.
safe and I be going for the win. Remember back when they was doubting on the kid. Now they tuned in cause my game too legit. Stayed down, remain humble, and I made it work. Crazy how I came out so clean from the dirt. We was using candles on the...
Good evening and welcome to Senator Football under the Friday night lights on the Robinson Sports Network, presented by Natural State Sports. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Chris Gay, joined by my great crew, a short crew, but a great crew, my director, Avery McMullen, who might have a couple sound bites throughout the game, might jump on the mic a couple times. We'll see how it goes. And then on camera, our lone cameraman tonight is Caden Smith. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. And this is the Senators' very short road trip against the Jacksonville Titans here at Titan Stadium. It is Jacksonville's homecoming, and the Senators are coming into town, taking about the 35, 40-minute drive north to try to spoil the Titan homecoming. Now, looking at these two teams before we have to break away for the national anthem, both of these teams have kind of had polar opposites of the type of years so far. The Senators started off slow with a loss against Pulaski Academy in their first game of the season. But since then, they've had 3 straight victories, including 2 straight home victories against 2 5A opponents. Also, their first conference win over Watson Chapel a week ago. For Jacksonville, they also started week 1 with a loss to Malvern, and then they had 3 straight home games. Their first home game of the season was against Lone Oak, where they came back and had a huge victory in front of the home crowd in a low-scoring 8-7 victory over the Jackrabbits. But since then, they have lost 2 straight, including their first conference game against Pine Bluff here at home, losing 15-0 to the Zebras. So the Senators hoping to add win number 4 to their total on the year. Jacksonville looking for just their second victory overall on the year. Now, as I mentioned, both of these teams having polar opposite type seasons, but they both have playmakers on both sides of the football. Let's talk about the Senators right quick. The Senators, of course, last week, Nick Abrams, the star running back, had finally had his first 100 rushing yard game of the year. 13 attempts, 112 rushing yards, and 1 rushing touchdown, making his season totals 54 rushes on the year, 331 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground. That is a 6.1 yard per average. That's just incredible for a guy that teams know when he's on the field, he's probably getting the football. Now, Tyson Braden showing that this Senator team is not just a running football team. They can throw the ball too. He only had 4 incompletions in their loss, or excuse me, not their loss, their win over Watson Chapel, but he did have 140 yards through the air and 3 passing touchdowns, including finding guys like Charles Petty, Jaden Todd, Kyron Grimes, and Malachi Muhammad throughout the game. Malachi Muhammad was able to compile 2 of those passing touchdowns from Braden. Malachi Muhammad, for those that are not aware, he's a senior. He is one of the fastest receivers on this team. What's unfortunate for Muhammad is he's been stuck behind a very crowded receiving room. There's a lot of guys ahead of him that are scraping and crawling just to see the field, but they have so many talented seniors, seniors, yes, but a lot of talented receivers, and Muhammad is one of them. Both of his catches went for, actually 2 of his 3 catches went for touchdowns, with his longest being of 20 yards. So he's an instant red zone and deep threat for the Senators. They already have a lot of those throughout that room. So for Jacksonville, that is something they have to keep an eye on. Keep an eye on the Senator playmakers all night long, and that quarterback-receiver connection between Brad and Muhammad, Grimes, Todd, Petty, Jaden Carter, so many other players, Pettis, Tatum Hayes, Michael Hayes, so many different players. Caught a pass last week. 7 was the number, and so many more are probably going to catch a pass this week. Now for Jacksonville, one of their best traits overall is their defense. Though they have only compiled 1 win on the year, it's been mostly because of their defense. Their defensive line has some really talented players. Michael and Brian Johnson, both of them were all-conference players last season as Jacksonville was in the 6A classification. This is their first year in 5A with second-year coach Eric Allen. But their defense has been their calling card. Of course, their offense and their offensive line have had their moments. Josh Murray, Manny Harris, and Jalen Moore have really been the 3 major playmakers up front, and expect them to be using their bell cow in Mason Ball, their sophomore sensation. He was a freshman sensation for them last year. Expect him to really be the number 1 option on offense. And if my numbers are right, Marion Ball is going to be the starting quarterback for the Titans. And, of course, just like in the NBA, this is not a LaMelo Lonzo Leangelo ball situation, but the Jacksonville Titans have a ball brother duo in Marion and Mason Ball, the quarterback running back duo, who are we're going to be calling their names quite a few times throughout the night. They also have some talented receivers in Keyshawn Glenn, Kavion Spann, and even Kennedy Johnson. But this should be a very fun game. Expect possibly a shootout for both teams. Maybe as the Titans will probably try to sort of grind this one out. The Senators probably going to start the game on the air. So I'm going to get off the mic for just a second, but we are going to have the national anthem here in just a moment. Well, you may not have been able to hear. It's kind of hard to hear from up here in the Titan press box, but that was the national anthem was presented by the Jacksonville High School Choir. And it was a really, I know you couldn't hear at home, but we could, and it was a really impressive performance by the Titan Choir. Now, while we have a second before kickoff and before the Titans and the Senators captains come out for the coin toss, let's talk about the Senators in their last game, their win over Watson Chapel. As I mentioned, it was a really good night. Watson Chapel came in there, an improved team from last year, but they took a step back, losing 0-49 against the Senators on their home turf. And then, of course, that was the Senators' homecoming. As I mentioned, Tyson Braden really had a solid game, 3 passing touchdowns, 140 yards from the air. That brings him to 7 passing touchdowns now on the season, along with 516 passing yards. Nick Abrams, 112 rushing yards. Jordan Thomas, 37 rushing yards on only 6 carries. A lot of backups and a lot of guys that have really been trying to get on the field, saw the field for the first time this season last night. Do want to mention that, of course, this is, I think, only the 3rd game of the season, but First Community Bank is a sponsor of the Robinson Sports Network. We are still looking for more sponsors. The more the merrier, and still really would love to have a sponsor for the Robinson football pregame show. That is live before every Friday broadcast, and it is conducted by Jake Hall and I. Of course, Jake will not be here tonight. He has a prior commitment. But still, we sit down with Coach Toniscola on occasion. We will have a player on the show, but we get to hear from Coach Escola, get to talk to him about what he expects in the coming matchup, as well as his thoughts on their previous game. And we also talk about some things that maybe aren't necessarily current. And what I mean is we'll talk about occasionally other senators who have gone on and are doing some great things, especially players some former senators that are playing college football that have been coached under Coach Escola. We talked a lot, and we've talked multiple times about Marion Harris, who is the left guard for the Arkansas Razorbacks, having a really nice year. As the starting left guard has held down that spot all year long. I expect him to do so throughout the rest of the year. And, of course, if you're a Hog fan, you know good and well that it is the second home game tomorrow where they will be hosting the Tennessee Volunteers. Now, the captains this evening for the Senators, number 44, Cam Harper, a senior defensive tackle. Number 54, Ahmad Booker, senior offensive lineman. And it is kind of hard to see now the other number. I believe that may be number 64, Ari Montgomery, also a senior offensive lineman for the Senators out there. But for the Titans, number 10, Marion Ball, the quarterback for this Titan team. Number 9, Sky Harper, one of their top linebackers, and number 54, Manny Harris, one of their top offensive linemen, all the captains for this evening. Should be a very fun matchup in what is just the second conference game for both squads tonight. Of course, Jacksonville looking for their second win of the season, first conference win of the year, as they are just now new members of the 5A Central Conference in the 5A classification. And for the Senators, they're looking for their 4th win and second conference win on the year. And I was mistaken. It is number 45, Elijah Raymond, senior defensive lineman out there, one of the other captains for the Senators. And something I just noticed, and I don't know if this is for the entire team, but the 3 Jacksonville captains all wearing Guardian caps. That's what it looks like. Sure does look like they're all wearing Guardian caps. Of course, Guardian caps have been around football, especially college and professional football, and only high school until recently. And now, as of this year, NFL players have been allowed to wear Guardian caps during games. And it's supposed to provide extra protection from the helmet. It's undergone a lot of scientific testing, and so it's been an interesting topic of conversation in the NFL. I'm not positive if it's allowed in the college level yet, but it probably will be soon, as a lot of players in the NFL have decided to wear them during games. And it looks like, it can't really tell from the camera angle, and I can't hardly tell from here, it looks like a fair number of the Titans are wearing Guardian caps. Of course, they are all black, so you won't be able to see the Jacksonville J with the little lightning bolt logo on their helmet once they are wearing the Guardian caps. But personally, I am for the Guardian caps. They don't take away from my experience as a fan watching football. I know that's one of the arguments against Guardian caps. Anything to protect the health of the players, I am 100% back behind. And if that's what the Guardian caps, that's their intention, then I'm for that as well. But again, this should be a very fun matchup tonight against the hometown Jacksonville Titans and the visiting Joe T. Robinson Senators. This is the first meeting between the two teams since Coach Escola has been here with Joe T. Robinson. Of course, Jacksonville, kind of a little bit of an unknown team, of course, to the Senators, never playing them before, but also Coach Eric Allen, this is only his second season with the program. He did record 2 wins last year. They were 2-8 overall in the 6A East Conference, taking last place. And then so far this year, 1-3 on the year. So it's a little bit of an unknown with this team as the Titans are headed out onto the field. I wasn't sure exactly where the Titan band was, but that Jacksonville High School band is just a little bit to our left and right below the press box, so you might be able to hear them throughout the night. Unfortunately, our windows don't open. We would love to be able to hear from the Jacksonville band and the Robinson band. Not a lot of high schools, at least ones that I have been a part of. North Little Rock, if those of you that do not know, I'm a love of North Little Rock High School, and I was also a part of the North Little Rock High School band. We did not always travel with the team, but the Joe T. Robinson band does. And Coach Escola has been for that. A lot of coaches and a lot of high schools throughout the state, not always for that. But Coach Escola is sort of an outlier there. He loves the band. And something interesting that he told us in one of the pregame shows, a little tidbit of things that you could be hearing if you would tune into the pregame show before every Friday night matchup, said that they try to get their entire football team to come support the band at as many concerts as they can possibly go to, which is just incredible. But William Tate set to kick off for the Senators. And just like that, we are underway for this 6A conference matchup, and right away there is a flag on the field. Tate did kick that ball out of bounds. So the Titans will be set up at the 35-yard line. So good field position for Marion Ball and company. And it looks like every single player out on the field for the Titans has a Guardian cap on. Actually, I only see a couple of players on the sideline, a little bit more than a couple, maybe close to 10 that are not wearing Guardian caps. So 4 receivers to the right, 1 in motion, empty set. Here's Ball looking back to pass, finds his man open, and that's about a 3-4 yard reception. Marion Ball completing it to number 3, Kavion Spann. Spann last year was one of their top receivers at 205 receiving yards on 16 catches. Hand off to the running back and up the middle for a solid gain. He'll be down about the 42-yard line. That was Stanley Turner, who plays both ways for this Jacksonville squad. Empty set again. Man in motion once again. Ball back to pass. Finds his man open. It's going to be a short completion, and it will be enough for a Jacksonville Titan first down. That was number 7, Keyshawn Glenn, another one of their top receivers on the first down reception. So the Titans set up at the 46-yard line. Man in the backfield, man in motion. Ball was looking deep and nobody was open. There was a receiver in the area. Looked like he was going for Turner on that play. So it is 2nd and 10 from the Titan 46-yard line. 2 men in the backfield now for the Titans. One receiver on either side. Tight end in formation. Snap handoff to the running back. Can't get anything, and that's going to be a major tackle for loss for the Senators. A number of players in to make the tackle. One, Nick Tyler and Cam Harper. Something interesting to note, I had mentioned Mason Ball, one of the top playmakers for this team. Does not appear that he is dressed out for this game. So they'll be going with a number of different running backs in this game. But Ball is tracked down by Tank Reese. Tank Reese, the team's leading tackler, with his first tackle of this game. And looks like an entirely new offense, with the exception of Marion Ball on the field. For the Titans, interesting formation here. It is 4th down and long. Let's see if they actually try to punt this ball away. They will. It's a short line drive punt. That's Muhammad on the return. Muhammad following his blockers. Muhammad to the 40, the 45, 50, and he gets shot. A big hit from number 26, Bruce Bennett, but a nice solid return for the senior receiver, Malachi Muhammad. What I meant to say was he took a shot from Bennett on the return, but it was an interesting formation for a punting formation. Usually you would like your punter a little bit farther back to have some more room to punt. So it'll be interesting to see if the Senators are going to be able to force Jacksonville into more punting situations, and if they can possibly get some punt blocks off of that. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Hand off to Abrams. Abrams following his blockers up the left side. Abrams breaking away for a big first down. Can he get to the end zone? He is down at the 15-yard line. What a run on first down by the senior Nick Abrams. It is now 1st and goal for the first time tonight for either team. And the Senators, this could potentially be just a very quick possession. Nick Abrams still the running back in the backfield. Petty and Pettis on the left side. Petty in motion. Williams and Todd on the right. Braden backing up. Play clock ticking down. Handoff again to Abrams up the middle, and he gets a couple yards out of that first down run, but it will bring up 2nd and goal, and they're going to call it 2nd and goal from the 7-yard line. Jordan Thomas coming into the ball game now, so likely going to see 2 backs in the backfield for the Senators. Be interesting to see who gets the handoff here, either Abrams or Thomas. And it's going to be Abrams, and he slips up and he falls short of the line of scrimmage. So it'll be a loss of about a yard on the play, but still 3rd and goal from now the 8-yard line of the Titans. Jaden Todd, Charles Petty on the right. Actually, Petty's on the left. Kevin Williams in the slot for the Senators. Handoff this time to Thomas. Thomas up the middle. He breaks away. Thomas to the end zone. Touchdown, Senators! Jordan Thomas, what a run. His 2nd rushing touchdown on the season on his first carry of the ball game. Well, Thomas trying to go straight up the middle. He wasn't happy with what happened there. So he said, all right, I'm going to bounce outside. I'm going to follow my blockers. Some of my teammates really thought the play was dead, but I'm going to follow my blockers, and I'm going to score the first touchdown of the ball game for my squad. Now William Tate is on for the First Community Bank extra point attempt. It is up, and it is good. Tate remains perfect on the season, 15 of 15 from extra point range. Of course, that was a First Community Bank field goal make. And here at First Community Bank, we believe that investing in our communities provides us all with a brighter future. And it's something we've been doing since we were founded in 1997. We're proud to support the Senators in everything they do, not just because they're great athletes, but because they represent what makes community so special. People coming together to work hard and make something amazing happen. When you bank local, everyone wins. Go Senators! First Community Bank, where community comes first. Member FDIC. Tate set to kick this ball off for the Senators. And he's going to keep it in bound this time, and it's Marion Ball, called for the fair catch. The quarterback also has spent most of the year last year at wide receiver. He's actually one of the team's best receivers last year. Had 109 yards through the air. Well, through the air with somebody else passing the football. Also had 16 catches in 2023, but now is the man at the helm for the Titans in 2024. Man in the backfield is Turner. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Ball looking left for his man. He slips and falls, and that goes incomplete. That will be 2nd and 10 for the Titans. His intended receiver, Kennedy Johnson, slipped and fell there. It was a solid route nonetheless, but it will bring up 2nd and long. 3 receivers bunched up to the right. Johnson moves a little bit to the left. Handoff to the running back up the middle. And he will be tackled by Tank Reese, and looks like that is also Dominio Patterson in on the tackle. It will be 3rd and long for the Titans. So Jacksonville's 2nd third down of the night. Senators going to send pressure up front. Handoff to the running back, and he will be taking down just short of the first down marker. A couple big hits coming in. There is a Senator that is down on the field. Training staff's going to have to come check on him. That was Tank Reese. I think he took maybe a shot from his teammate or possibly from one of the Titan players. He's going to leave the field, but he did get up just slowly, but he got up on his own and is headed back to the sideline. So it is 4th and 3 from the Titan 33-yard line. Goodness, can I count? But it does look like they are going to punt it away here. Malachi Muhammad and Deuce Williams set to receive for Robinson. A little bit better of a punt there. Muhammad fields it, waiting for his blockers. Muhammad following his blockers, going up towards the Jacksonville J, and he will be tracked down by a number of Titan defenders. And a little bit of play after the whistle for both squads, but headed back to either team's sidelines. So the Senators on drive number 1, they were able to pound the ball on just a couple of plays. Their first play opened up with a huge 40-something yard run for Nick Abrams. The Titans pretty much had them pinned in at the goal line, but Jordan Thomas was able to break away for a touchdown run from about the 8-yard line. Deuce Williams in the backfield for the Senators. 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Braden looking, finds his man downfield. He's got Jaden Todd. Jaden Todd, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown, Senators. A one-play drive for Joe T. Robinson. I did say this at the beginning of the game. This could be a shootout, and that's exactly what it has been. And now William Tate is coming out for the First Community Bank extra point attempt. And William Tate remains perfect on the season for another First Community Bank extra point attempt. First Community Bank is proud to serve the Little Rock community. We offer personal service and expertise and a full range of financial services that meet your needs. For all of your banking needs, First Community Bank has you covered. And if you need help figuring out which product is best for your needs, our knowledgeable and friendly staff are ready to help you find the best solution for your situation. First Community Bank, where community comes first. Member FDIC. Well, the way this game is started, as we still have a whole 6:13 left to play in the first quarter, I'm going to be talking a lot more about First Community Bank. Tate set to kick off. Lamyron Smith and Stanley Turner back to receive for the Titans. It's going to be a short, high kick. It will be fair caught by the Titans. And looks like they're going to redo the kickoff. I believe there may have been a penalty. I never spotted a flag. Maybe I just didn't notice one. But 6:10 is on the clock. And Tate's going to have a redo for this kickoff. And he's going to kick this one a lot farther. It's going to go down to Turner. Stanley Turner, following his blockers, evades a tackle and goes down about the 39-yard line. There is a flag on the play. Looked like number 22, Bryson Cunningham, was in on the tackle for Robinson. Let's see what this flag is. And that will be a face mask penalty on the Senators. So the ball will be marked down at the 43-yard line of the Titans. I believe on that first kickoff attempt there was a penalty, which brought them out to the 35, so they had to kick again. 4 receivers on the right, 1 on the left for the Titans. Nobody in the backfield but Marion Ball. Ball looking right, finds his man, and not much there. And that ball was loose. Let's see who recovers it, and it is Robinson. Robinson forcing their first turnover of the game, and they have the football. Let's see where they mark him down at. Probably going to mark him at the 39-yard line of the Titans. Yes, that's exactly where they're going to put him. So right away, first play of the drive, Titans turn the football over, have to send their defense back out on the field. Of course, their defense really hasn't been out there for very long. There's been a lot of big, explosive plays by this Robinson team. But if you're a Robinson fan, you have to love the way this team has started out. Coach Escola also mentioned in the pregame show there were a lot of players out with illness. So a lot of starters were not necessarily guaranteed to be out here starting and on the field. Delay a game on the Senators will take them back to the 44-yard line of the Titans. That was something that Coach Escola also was working on with this squad, cleaning up the penalties, especially the offside penalties, something that he knows his team is very young. They are a very mature young team. They know that they can clean these up pretty quickly. Braden looking deep, looking for somebody. He's got his man open, and Muhammad in and out of his hands, but it was a great pass breakup by number 17, Jadavian Jackson, the junior corner, making a huge play for that Titan defense, bringing up 2nd and long. It is great to see that Braden is looking for Muhammad early, but he's had a lot of time to throw these passes. A handoff to Jordan Thomas, following a couple blockers. Thomas can't be taken down. He will finally be taken down around the 15, 13-yard line of Jacksonville. So the Senators back in the red zone for the second time in this quarter. Jordan Thomas just showing off the explosion and showing off the fact that he just doesn't go down. He has not been brought down to the ground. On either of his handoffs, they've had to try to force him out of bounds. Thomas in the backfield. Braden looking to pass, looking, deep shot, and what a catch by touchdown Senators, but that was, I'm trying to see the number, I'm sorry, I think that might be Kyron Grimes. Oh, I cannot see the jersey number. Actually, that looks like that was Tatum Hayes in on the touchdown reception. For Hayes, that is his first touchdown of the season, his 4th catch on the year. So now William Tate comes out for the First Community Bank extra point attempt. It is up, and it is good. So the Senators, with a very early first quarter lead, leading 21-0, here in enemy territory with 5:29 left to play in the first quarter. Let's hear again from our sponsor, First Community Bank. When you bank local, everyone wins. That's why we're proud to support the Senators and our community. At First Community Bank, we're all about helping our neighbors thrive. We know that when you bank local, your money stays right here in town, which means businesses can thrive and people can get things done. But that doesn't mean it has to stop there. We want to help make sure the Senators are thriving too. And the best way to do that is by supporting them with your time and money. So go out there and show your pride for the Senators by wearing their t-shirt and cheering them on at every game this season. Go Senators! First Community Bank, where community comes first. Member FDIC. I knew it was going to be a shootout. I did not expect to be talking about our sponsor 3 times already in the first quarter, and at the rate things are going, there might be a fourth, but Jacksonville, short return, and not much going for them at all. It was a short kick by William Tate. A number of Senators in to make the stop. And so the Titans will be set up at the 25-yard line. But again, what a start for the Senators here, playing in enemy territory, looking to spoil Jacksonville's homecoming game. The Titans had homecoming festivities before the game, and there's a chance that they have something at halftime. Every school's a little bit different with their homecoming festivities. If that is the case, we will do our best to be able to get some sound, but show whatever halftime festivities they have, and that is a huge tackle for loss by Caleb Doucette. 13th tackle on the year for Doucette. 4th tackle for loss on the season. I think that may have also been his first tackle for loss that was not a sack on the year. He has had a monstrous year, 3 sacks already on the year. Forced fumble, pass deflection, 13 tackles, and now 4 tackles for loss. Ball looking for his running back. He finds him, but brought down by Nick Tyler. A nice tackle on the move by the senior Nick Tyler. Will be 3rd and long, 3rd and 8 to be exact. 4:25 left on the scoreboard. 21-0 is your score, but the Senators up. 3 touchdowns early, 2 coming from the air, 1 on the ground via Nick Abrams. And the Titans are going to take a timeout here. Well, while we have this break, let's take a look at some of the other schools in the Natural State Sports Network and some of the other PCSSD schools that are playing around the state. So Parkview, not PCSSD, but they are in the Natural State Sports Network. They are also having their homecoming game where they are hosting DeQueen, and they are up 7-0 with 6 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Maumelle, they're not playing their homecoming, but they are playing at the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff field. I believe that is Centennial Bank Stadium. They're in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and they currently have a 7-0 lead against 5A Central foe Pine Bluff with 5:16 left to play in the first quarter. Sylvan Hills kind of playing the way that Jacksonville's playing, down 20-0 with 6:16 left to play in the first quarter. Ball rolling right, finds his man open, and that's going to bring up 4th down for the Titans. Ball just had to find somebody to get a couple yards on the play. That was Keyshawn Glenn on the reception. It is 4th and 5. The offense is still on the field for Jacksonville. Let's see what they do. It looks like they're going to punt the football away. Deuce Williams and Malachi Muhammad set to receive the punt. And linebacker Chandler Sublett set to kick this football away. And that is blocked by Tank Reese. Tank Reese also recovers it. The Senators will have the football at the Jacksonville 22-yard line. I knew sooner or later the Senators were going to break free and get a hand on that punt. And that's exactly what happened. The punt formation, I'm, of course, no football genius, but that's not exactly how I would have set up my punt team. So the Senators will have prime field position around the 22.5-yard line, let's say that. Nick Abrams in the backfield. I don't think he's been back in the game since that first drive. Of course, they haven't necessarily had to call upon his services much. Michael Hayes in motion. Braden, and play is blown dead. Will be a penalty on the Senators. Will be a delay of game. Second delay of game penalty in this first quarter for the Senators. So Robinson will be set up at the 37.5-yard line. Tatum Hayes and Michael Hayes on the right side. Petty on the left. Abrams in the backfield. Caden Pettis also on the left side. And we're going to have a timeout on the field by Robinson. Coach Escola wants to talk some things over. There's been a little bit of confusion from the Senator squad. But while we are going to have this break, we're going to take the break. So stay tuned after this timeout for more Senator football on the Robinson Sports Network. (21-0) is your score, with 3:03 left to play in this first quarter. The Senators coming out of the timeout. Braden looking for his receiver, and that's going to be a big tackle for loss for the Titans. Big play picked up by star safety Isaiah Morris. And that's going to be a big loss for the Senators. It will be set up around the 30-yard line of the Titans. Will be 2nd and 16. Two receivers on either side. Abrams in the backfield. Michael Hayes in motion. Braden looking for his man, and it will be incomplete. Tatum Hayes trying to get both feet down, trying to toe tap that ball. It didn't happen. It was a solid catch. He drew in the catch, but he just couldn't get the feet in bounds before he was pushed out of bounds. So 3rd and 16 from around the 30-yard line of the Titans. Three receivers on the left, one on the right. Braden. Pressure coming. Pressure gets to him. The Titans get to Braden for the first time tonight. That was Michael Johnson in for the big sack. Jackson also had a sack in their season opener versus Malvern. Arguably his best game all season long. Had about 4 tackles in that game. 2 tackles for loss, of course, a sack and a forced fumble in their loss at Malvern. Empty set for the Senators. Braden looking deep, and he can't get it deep. He was looking for Michael Hayes. That ball was a little high, and that will be turnover on downs for the Senators. So Jacksonville will take over from around the 30-yard line. The Titans have not had really anything going for them so far this game on offense. Their last drive on offense, first play, fumble. Of course, their first drive of the game, they did pick up a traditional first down. But since then, not a whole lot going the Titans' way. And I say the last drive actually was a punt block. The drive before that was a fumble recovered by Robinson. Low snap, and play is whistled dead. will be a false start on the offense. So it will be 1st and 15 from the Titan 29-yard line. We're going to have more stoppage and play. Well, I thought we did. It's kind of odd. One of the referees, seemed like he was calling a timeout. I'm not really sure what was happening there. Pressure coming to Ball getting away. And he does go back to the original line of scrimmage before getting knocked out of bounds by a couple of Senators. So about 5, 6 would be generous. Gain on the play for Marion Ball. There is a flag in the backfield. Looks like the Titans will be backing up. And it is holding on the offense. So they will replay first down, but now the Titans will be pushed back a lot farther. So they will be set up around the 19-yard line. Will be 1st and 25 for Jacksonville. Imagine a run just to get a few yards back here. They're going to go pass. Marion Ball looking for the screenplay. Another big loss. And that will be taking them back to around the 9-yard line. The Senators read that like a book. What a play for the Senator defense. They have been reacting so quickly all night long to every single thing that the Titans dial up. 2nd and 29 from the 9-yard line. Actually, they're going to mark them at the 10. It's going to be a handoff to the running back. And nice juke by the running back. And he'll get a few yards on the play. That was Isaiah Morris, who he's probably one of their best players on the defensive side of the ball. Definitely the best player in their secondary. He already has offers from Hendrix College and Lyon College. And he played quite a bit of offense last year as well. They were going to have him play full-time defense this season, but their offense has really been stagnant for the most part. He had 204 yards on the ground last season. They might be relying on him a lot more than they intended, especially in this game. Ball looking, threw it in a crowd of Senators, but did find his man Glenn open for a short completion, and it will bring up 4th and long. And both teams are going to go to their sidelines as that brings the first quarter to a close. 21-0 is your score here at Titan Stadium in Jacksonville, Arkansas. Don't go anywhere. We have more Robinson football after this break. And the Titans trailing 21-0 here at the beginning of the second quarter at their own house. Another punt. It's going to be directly to Malachi Muhammad once again. Muhammad, and he doesn't get a whole lot on the play. So Muhammad about 15, maybe 20 yards on the punt return. And the Senator offense will head back out onto the field. They did have a turnover on downs, their last offensive possession. looking to have more positive yards this time around. Of course, penalties early on in the possession really hurt the Senators, and now they're heading out onto the field with only 11 seconds left on the game clock, on the play clock, excuse me. Ticking down from 4-3, they will get the playoff in time, and a nice solid run by Deuce Williams. His first carry of the game. He'll get about, I think forward progress will mark him about the 44-yard line. Actually, they're going to put him down at about the 43.5. A solid 6 on the play. Braden looking right for his man. It's a screen pass to his receiver. He will be dragged down just short of the first down. That was Tatum Hayes, his second catch of the ball game. Of course, he had a touchdown early on in the first quarter for what ended up being the third score of the game. And Braden's second passing touchdown. His first came to Jaden Todd, who had a great route. It was wide open in the middle of the field for a touchdown. Man in motion, handoff to Thomas. Thomas following his blockers. Thomas, face mask, or excuse me, not face mask. He will be dragged down. Did not mean face mask. It was a heck of a stiff arm. Throwing that defender out of the play, and he will be down at the 5-yard line. Jordan Thomas has had explosive plays almost every time he touches the football. But frankly, that's the type of player he is. He's an explosive player. He's not the number one running back on the team. And one of the officials is telling Malachi Muhammad to leave the field. I'm not really sure why. The play clock is ticking down to 1. They will reset it to 25. It's interesting. I'm not really sure why Muhammad had to leave the field. Maybe his helmet came off or something in the play before. But it's going to be a short run by Thomas. Thomas, his legs just a churning. Short gain, possibly 1 on the play. Actually, that looks like that may have been Deuce Williams on the carry. Two receivers on either side. Deuce Williams in the backfield. Braden looking, finds his man open. Well, I say that. I thought that ball was deflected pretty quickly. He was looking to the outside. I think he was looking for Jaden Carter on the left side, but that ball was batted down by one of the Titan defenders, so it does bring up 3rd and goal from the 11-yard line of the Titans. Deuce Williams in the backfield. 3 receivers to the left, 1 on the right. Handoff to Williams. Williams cuts back, and his line doing their best to push him forward, but he will be marked down just short of the end zone. It will be 4th and goal from, looks like the 2-yard line. And looks like Joe T. Robinson is going to take a second to talk things over. But let's just talk about the start for the Senators. 3 touchdowns early on in that first quarter, and they are on the verge of their 4th touchdown of the game just now in the second quarter of play. This has been the type of start that Coach Escola wanted. Now, of course, the last drive of the first quarter ended in a turnover on downs. Not exactly what you had in mind. But still, you can't be mad about the start your team had. Nick Abrams had a huge first down run for their first offensive play of the game. setting up a Jordan Thomas rushing touchdown, which seemed like it was going to be a Jordan Thomas being tackled in the backfield. But he made something out of nothing. And that was 7-0. And then, of course, a one-play drive between Braden and Jaden Todd for the second score of the game, a huge touchdown of about 50 yards, and then the third touchdown of the game. Connection between Hayes and Braden, and that is going to be a huge tackle for a loss. That's Kevin Williams, Deuce Williams, who was just hounded by a horde of Titan defenders. That will be turnover on downs. The Titans will get the football. I will be curious. I think they're going to mark him at the 15-yard line, so a huge tackle for a loss. But the Titans read that play perfectly. And I keep saying Braden. It was Williams. His helmet came off at one point, so he won't be able to play this play as he is one of the starting safeties for the Senator defense. So he'll have to take a play off at least. But again, what defense there by the Titans. They've really kind of cleaned up their act a little bit, especially on these last two Senator drives. But we have to shout out that Senator defense, only allowing one first down of the game. There's also been a fumble that was recovered by Tank Reese, and then that was the punt block that was recovered by Tank Reese. I'm not quite sure who recovered the fumble, but there was a fumble early on, actually midway through the first quarter. And a couple of the officials are going to talk something over. There is a flag on the field. Let's see what they have to say. There was a delay of game. Not really. The offense is not backing up. It almost sounds like they are starting on the 5-yard line. Not really sure who that penalty was on. I assume the offense. Not sure, but a run, and somebody's helmet goes flying. That was number 25, Lamarion Smith, on the first down run. That was actually his helmet, so a Senator defender popped that thing off, and he'll have to leave the play he'll have to leave the field for a play. It is 2nd and 12 from the Titan 4-yard line. Ball standing in his end zone with his running back. Now he's in motion, looking to go deep, and he gets his man open, and not quite good enough for a first down, but a solid reception, solid connection between Ball and number 3, Kayvon Spann. Pistol formation for the Titans. Running back in motion. Ball. He's going to take off, and he does not get far at all. Brought down immediately. I believe that is, I'm trying to see the number, who that was for the Senators. Looks like that may have been Cam Harper on the tackle for a loss for the Senators. 4th down at the 12-yard line. So 4th and 4, but Jacksonville deciding to punt here. Muhammad and Deuce Williams set to return. Muhammad standing about the 45, Williams about the 41. And that one is a high punt. They're just going to let this one bounce, and the bounce doesn't necessarily help the Titans in any way. They had to punt that ball pretty quickly. The Senators were flying in to try to block that punt. And they're going to mark it down about the 32-yard line of the Titans. So amazing field position for the Senators here with 7:19 left to play in the first half. Offense comes back onto the field. Muhammad on the left side for the Senators. Williams and Abrams in the backfield. Hayes in the slot, one man on the right. Braden finds his man open. It's Abrams. Abrams, big first down, and he's still going. He finally gets taken down about the 4-yard line. Abrams, that's only his 4th catch of the season, but he's a player that can make some plays when he gets the ball in his hands, and he has a lot of room. Doesn't matter if it's off a handoff or it's off a catch. He can make some plays, and he has some speed. He runs so hard, but he has a lot of speed, and he can make a lot of things happen. Definitely one of the most exciting players in the conference. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Man in the backfield with Braden. Braden fakes the handoff. Braden looking to the end zone, too high. He was looking for Tatum Hayes, I believe, for what would have been his 2nd touchdown of the game. So that brings up 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line of the Titans. Two receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Hand off to Williams. Williams, is he in? They will mark him just short of the end zone. So that has to be 3rd and inches. 3rd and goal, rather. But 3rd and inches. Hand off again to Williams, and he is in for the touchdown. 4th touchdown on the game. 1st rushing touchdown on the season for Kevin Deuce Williams. Actually, that is his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. He's scored a lot of other ways, so it's kind of hard to remember all the times he scored. I think that's actually his 4th total touchdown on the season. Yep, I believe that is right. He had a fumble, which he returned for a touchdown in their 2nd game against Jonesboro. And now Tate on for the extra point attempt, and it is up, and it is good. So William Tate is 4 of 4 for First Community Bank extra point attempts. Here at First Community Bank, we believe that investing in our communities provides us all with a brighter future, and it's something we've been doing since we were founded in 1997. We're proud to support the Senators in everything they do, not just because they're great athletes, but because they represent what makes community so special, people coming together to work hard and make something amazing happen. When you bank local, everyone wins. Go Senators! First Community Bank, where community comes first. Member FDIC. I gotta say, First Community Bank is not wrong. The Senators are making something special happen. They have just exploded right away, and now 6:09 left to play in the first half, and they're up by 4 scores. 28-0 is your score, with plenty of time to add another one if their defense is able to come up with another stop. I've talked a lot about the offense, and for good reason. Braden has been connecting so many times throughout this game, as that play is whistled dead again, so they're going to have to kick this ball off a 2nd time. Will be another delay of game on Robinson. So Escola, despite all the success on offense, there have been a number of penalties in this game. But again, the offense has played very well for Robinson. The defense has been even better. They've been taking advantage of loose balls. Their special teams have been excellent. There's just not a whole lot they're not doing well of the three sides of the football: offense, defense, and special teams. That football will, and that's going to be recovered. Let's see where they mark that football down at. Myron Smith was waiting for that football to bounce out of bounds. It never did. But that will be at the 20-yard line. So that will be a touchback by the Titans, as they're going to talk some stuff over. Those huddles are. But that was a great kick by William Tate. I really did think, and so did everybody on the Titans, expected that ball to bounce out of bounds. But it had the perfect bounces leading to a touchback. That's actually William Tate's fourth touchback on the season. He's done a solid job kicking for the squad. A short reception to his receiver, Glenn, and immediately taken down. I think that is Tatum Hayes playing both sides of the football tonight for the Senators on the big tackle. Three receivers to the right, one to the left. Ball rolling right, looking for his man. He's got a man open, and that is way too high. Kayvon Spann was open for just a hot minute. I mean, he was just wide open, and Ball just failed to see him until it was a little late and overthrew him. Would have been a big pickup on second down for the Titans, but now brings third and long, 3rd and 6 to be exact. So it's third and manageable, but they are set up at their own 24-yard line. They have to keep that in mind. Receivers bunched up at the line. Ball and nowhere to go, and a number of Senators in for the sack. I believe one, you guessed it, Caleb Doucette, one of 2 or 3 Senators to record a sack on that play, and the Titans will be forced to punt this football away. So again, Robinson's offense, stellar. Robinson's defense, even better. We'll notice the punter is set up a little bit farther back. Doesn't help. I think that one was blocked. And it is recovered by the Senators, and they're in for a touchdown. The Senators' 5th touchdown of the game, the first from the special teams. Wow. Whoa, the special teams for Robinson has to be driving this Jacksonville coaching staff wild. And now William Tate will be on for a First Community Bank extra point attempt. Tyson Braden set to hold. William Tate. Kick is up, and it is good. So William Tate, again, stays perfect, 5 of 5 from extra point range with that First Community Bank extra point. Get ahead of your finances with First Community Bank with one of their personal or business checking options. First Community Bank, where the Senator community comes first. What a start. I'm probably going to continue talking about what a start they've had, but what a start. 35-0 is your score. The Senators dominating in enemy territory. The first time they have seen Jacksonville since Jacksonville has been in the 5A classification. Of course, this is their first year in 5A after previously competing in the 6A East. And I believe this is the first time Todd Escola has ever coached against the Jacksonville Titans, despite the fact that they are only separated by, call it about 20 miles. But William Tate on for the kickoff, and that will bounce into the end zone for a touchback. So the Titans will set up at their own 20-yard line. 4 minutes, 30 seconds left on the first half clock. So plenty of time to make something happen if you are Jacksonville. Only one first down this entire game. They have had some moments with their receiving core. They've made some plays. They've made some catches. And I like to think that some of that has to do with who Jacksonville's receivers coach is. As of this year, I think back in maybe January, they hired a new wide receivers coach, and a lot of Hog fans will know exactly who that is. Their wide receivers coach is Joe Adams, one of the greatest wide receivers in the history of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Was a legendary receiver with Arkansas, and he was a legendary return man. I think he was probably a better punt returner than he was a wide receiver, and he was an amazing wide receiver. And that's going to be a huge sack for the Senators. Lennox Campos. I believe that may also be Caleb Doucette in on the big sack. But Joe Adams accepting this position. I think this is his first coaching position since retiring from professional football. He spent one season with the Carolina Panthers after they drafted him in the 4th round. Spent a little bit of time with the Texans as that's going to be picked off by Deuce Williams. Touchdown, Senators. The 6th touchdown of the game. Multiple flags on the field. Believe they were just now thrown, so it will be after the play. Those penalties will be assessed on, I believe, the extra point attempt. Let's see what these penalties are about. But now that's the 3rd different type of touchdown. The offense, defense, and special teams have been great for the Senators, but they keep getting better. The defense finally deciding to get in on the fun and get a touchdown of their own. This time a Deuce Williams pick 6, his 2nd defensive touchdown of the year. So there was an unsportsmanlike penalty on the Senators right after the touchdown, and that penalty will not be assessed until after the First Community Bank extra point attempt. It will be assessed on the kickoff. And Tate, his kick is up, and it is good. So he's 6 of 6 from extra point range, as that is another First Community Bank extra point. So get ahead of your finances with First Community Bank with one of their personal or business checking options. First Community Bank, where the Senator family comes first. What a start. 3 different ways the Senators have scored touchdowns. They have 3 offensive touchdowns so far in this football. Actually, 4 offensive touchdowns in this game. 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 by Jordan Thomas, 1 by Deuce Williams, and then 2 receiving touchdowns, 1 by Jaden Todd, 1 by Tatum Hayes. A special teams touchdown. It was off a punt that I believe was blocked. And I can't quite remember who returned that. Heck, that was probably Deuce Williams. I mean, he's been everywhere tonight. And, of course, that was Deuce Williams on the pick 6. So 42-0 is your score with 3 48 left to play. There is still plenty of time for Jacksonville to get a good positive play and possibly head into halftime with some points on the board. Return by Smith, and a couple of Senators in on the tackle. Jordan Thomas, and that might have been Corey Crusterson in on the tackle. So Myron Smith will be marked down about the 29-yard line. Looks like Marion Ball will still be the quarterback for the Titans. With the exception of that pick six, he has still made a couple plays. It's just been hard getting this offense into a rhythm, getting anything going. He did have to, the previous drive, he threw to the opposite side of the field across his body, and that was just going to be too easy to pick off. Ball handoff to the running back, and that goes nowhere. Big tackle for a loss by number 7, Charles Petty. Petty, of course, a lot of these players play on both sides of the football, but Petty also plays some linebacker along with being a wide receiver. And it's Petty's second tackle of the season. First tackle for loss as Cam Harper gets up slowly. And he'll have to walk off the field with the help of a trainer. He's moving okay. I think it could be a shoulder issue. He was kind of holding his arm a little low. But 3:22 left to play in the first half. At the rate that the Senators are going, they could possibly have another defensive or special teams touchdown before halftime, even an offensive touchdown. The offense has been able to stay off the field for quite a while now. This defense by the Senators has been making some serious plays. Now we're about to resume play. 2 men in the backfield. Handoff to the running back. Goes up the right side, and a number of Senators in on the tackle. Michael Hayes and Josh Smith, two of their better secondary players, in on the stop. Will be 3rd and long. Looks like 3rd and 12 to be exact. The Titans are set up at the 26.5-yard line. It's 3rd and 12. See if they can make something happen on this 3rd and long situation. Senators playing zone, and they're going to get a short reception out of this, but a huge hit by Tank Reese. That was Isaiah Morris on the 3rd down reception, but he got blasted onto his own sideline, and now the Titans are going to punt this football away. Actually, there really hasn't been a lot of movement. Now it's going to be a Jacksonville timeout. Well, let's see what they decide to do here, if they send out their punt team or if they decide to go back out onto the field with their offense. While we have a break in the action, we're going to take a break too. Stay tuned for more Senator football right after this break.
Stayed down, remain humble, and I made it work. Crazy how I came out so clean from the dirt. We was using candles on the nights the lights ain't work. We ain't never going back to that and that I merch. Turn your back on me, the worst mistake you ever make. Keep my grass cut, gotta watch out for the
Titans in punt formation. It's Isaiah Morris. Looks like he's set to punt this football away. Actually, that's not Morris. That was Keyshawn Glenn, and that ball did not go very far at all, just barely past the line of scrimmage. And so that punt is going to be marked down about the 33-yard line of the Titans. It looked like that they decided to try with a new punter in Glenn, and it just didn't quite happen the way they expected. And now the offense for the Senators will head out onto the field, and now there's a new quarterback at the helm for the Senators. No longer Tyson Braden. It is now backup sophomore Reese Simpson, and right away throws a dart to Caden Pettis for a solid pickup on first down. So 2 minutes left to play in the first half, and the Senators have already brought in their backup quarterback. And, a miscommunication on the route there. Reed was looking for his man. I believe that may have been Deuce Williams on the route. I'm not quite sure. It was either him or it may have been, looks like that was Tatum Hayes. That was nearly picked off by Morris, who read the play perfectly, just slipped right before he could get to the football. Hand off to Thomas. Thomas, that's enough for a Senator first down. Jordan Thomas has been getting the bulk of the carries in this game. I'd imagine it might be running back by committee for the rest of this ball game. Might see some Bryce Young Cunningham. Might even see some William Moore. Thomas, another great run, plowing down some defenders, and he gets ahead for another Senator first down. So Jordan Thomas making some plays, back-to-back first down runs for the Senators. So Robinson set up, first and goal from the 9-yard line. Simpson looking to throw, finds Pettis. Pettis cuts back. Pettis finally brought down about the 4-yard line, but Caden Pettis, a great maneuverability, as it looked like he was going to be tackled, possibly for a loss, by 3 different Titan defenders, and he was able to juke them all, cut back, get a couple of yards out of the play. It's a second and goal from the 4-yard line. Simpson alone in the backfield, man in motion. And a flag on the play. It's going to be whistled dead, so it will be a false start on the offense. Remains second down, but they will be backed up to about the 10-yard line. Simpson remains alone in the backfield. Looks right, looking for his man. That's intercepted by Isaiah Morris. So the Titans collect their 3rd turnover of the game, their first interception of the ball game, thanks to star safety Isaiah Morris. Could this possibly be a sign of life for this Titan football team? That's the first interception thrown by Simpson this year. Only his second appearance in his sophomore year. Played 1 game last year. He did throw 2 interceptions and was 3 of 11. His lone game in 2023. But he did first appear in the win over Watson Chapel, was 1 of 4 for 8 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions, and he started this game off well with a nice dart to Caden Pettis for about 8 yards on first down. Just looks like he doesn't quite have the chemistry that Braden does with his receivers. And that's going to be a very short run. They're just trying to not be backed up right at the goal line, trying to gain a little bit of separation as the Titans are set up around their own 1-yard line. And that will bring us to the end of the first half. 42-0 is your score, with the visiting Joe T. Robinson Senators with a massive lead. We will see if the Senators can keep pouring on with their second and third stringers in the second half. We'll see if the Titans can finally get a little bit something going on offense. We are going to show the Robinson Band as they are setting up on the field. I don't believe the Jacksonville High School Band will be playing during halftime. Looks like they are still in their seats in their designated spot in the stands. But we'll get to see the type of performance that the Senators Band is able to put out onto the field. So don't go anywhere. We will have the Senator Band performing in just a moment. And welcome back to the Robinson Sports Network, presented by Natural State Sports. This has been one heck of a first half for the Joe T. Robinson Senators playing in enemy territory here at Titan Stadium in Jacksonville, Arkansas. Again, 42-0 is your score. The Senators have dominated the three phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. You don't typically think about special teams being one of the most important parts of a team, but it is. It's almost equally as important, especially when you're able to make big plays on that side of the football, and the team has. Robinson has accounted for 4 offensive touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 2 from the air, 1 pick six, and 1 block punt that was returned for a touchdown. Seen a lot of different players make a number of contributions on every side of the football, and expect the Senators to continue to pour it on in the second half. But expect to see a lot of different and new faces out there, especially a lot of players that probably played for the first time against Watson Chapel last week after the team had a huge 49-0 victory over the visiting Wildcats. Keyshawn Glenn set to kick it off. It's not a very long kick, and the Titans may have this football. No official ruling yet. The Titans say it's theirs, and it is Jacksonville football at the Robinson 30-yard line. So this will be the first time this game that the Titans have been on the Robinson side of the field. They might have maybe were close to it early on in the first quarter, but their offense just was in utter chaos and disarray in the entire second quarter, and they just weren't able to make any positive plays. But now the Titan offense is out there on the field. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Isaiah Morris in the backfield now in motion. Here's Marion Ball going deep for his man. Oh, in and out of his receiver's hands. Oh, that could have been a huge play for the Titans. That was Kayvon Spann, who was wide open in the end zone. And a near touchdown. Now, I will go ahead and make a comment. We do understand we were really hoping, as that ball is also dropped, this time by Isaiah Morris, we were really hoping for you all to be able to hear the halftime show for both Robinson and Jacksonville. Both bands were stellar. And unfortunately, we are stuck behind some pretty thick glass, and these windows are unable to open up, so we cannot have a mic that kind of points towards the field. So that's why you're probably not hearing a lot of crowd noise either, as that third down run is stopped by the Senator defense. Again, we do apologize for that. There's really nothing we can do about it. But the Robinson band did look pretty spectacular, and the Jacksonville band definitely had a hold on this home crowd. But again, we do apologize for not being able to have the sounds of the band, as that's, of course, the most kind of important takeaway from the band. But we will be back at home next week, so expect that to be a little different. We can open up those windows at Charlie George Stadium. So now that will force 4th down, and the Jacksonville's and the Titans, who had great field position unfortunately, could not capitalize right there. No positive plays on that possession. What seemed like it was going to be a touchdown was dropped by Kayvon Spann after the defensive back kind of had his back turned. Then a drop pass for a screen pass, as that's, of course, turnover on downs, and the Senators will take over at the 27-yard line. It's Reese Simpson handing off to his running back. It's Bryson Cunningham being tracked down by the defender for a big loss. It is 2nd down and 11 from the 26-yard line. Two receivers, now three receivers on the left, one on the right. A lot of different players coming in and out for the Senator team, and it looks like the Senators are going to take a timeout here. There was a late substitution, and to prevent them having, I believe, what would have been their third delay of game penalty tonight, they did take a timeout. It's their first timeout taken of the half. We will stay right here. So, again, we're going to see a lot of different players, a lot of fresh faces, a lot of young faces for the Senator offense and defense. Reese Simpson leading the way at quarterback for the Senators, coming in late in the second quarter. Had a completion, but did throw an interception at the goal line on what appeared to be a miscommunication for the route. And a lot of new receivers in as well. Simpson looking for his man. That ball's tipped. It was tipped by one of the Titan linemen. And Simpson was looking for number 81, Carter Moffitt, who's yet to record a catch this year, was a part of that great junior varsity squad last season that went undefeated for the first time in school history. And so many of those sophomores are a part of this varsity squad. A lot that play, a lot that maybe are just now seeing the field for the first time. Simpson looking for his man, complete to Hayes. Hayes putting on the brakes, and what a play by Tatum Hayes, showing off the fancy footwork, juking multiple Titan defenders, and finally is able to pick up a first down. So the second completion of the game for Reese Simpson. I believe that is Tatum Hayes, his fourth catch of the football game. Of course, he had a touchdown in the first half. Three receivers to the left, one to the right. Man in the backfield. Simpson, handoff to his running back. It's Cunningham. Cunningham doesn't get much at all and is tracked down by the defender. Second and 9 from the 39-yard line. And there's a flag on the play. Will be on the offense. It's going to be a false start. Though this offense has made some explosive, great, dominating plays, they haven't necessarily been flawless. A couple turnovers on downs by the starting offense, and there's going to be another flag and a number of penalties on both the starting squad and the backup squad, as now it's going to be second and very long. And it looks like they'll be set up at their own 29-yard line. So 2nd and 20 for Reese Simpson. in this offense. Simpson, bad snap, and in and out of the receiver's hands. He was looking for Cunningham on the screen pass, overthrew him just a little bit and off his fingertips. So again, this team has not been flawless by any means, but they have made so many great plays throughout the night. It's really been the defense and the special teams that have taken over, especially in that second quarter when the offense couldn't necessarily get into a stable rhythm. They were able to come in and keep Jacksonville from gaining any rhythm. Hand off to the running back. It was Cunningham on 3rd and long, and he gets maybe a yard on the play, so it's going to be 4th and 19. Offense is still on the field, but probably not for long. And, yep, the Senator special teams group is going to come out onto the field, and it's going to be Grant Treader is going to punt this football away. Grant Treader, it's not often that a team has 3 kickers that they're comfortable in. William Tate is the starter. John Tate is the usual starter, but he has been recovering from an ACL tear this year. And that return is going to be dragged down about the 33, 34-yard line of the Titans. But Grant Treader, kind of the 3rd-string kicker, 2nd string until John Tate returns. But he was able to make his first appearance of the season in the win over Watson Chapel and has the punt there. I meant to say this earlier, but let's take a look at some of the other PCSSD schools and schools within the Natural State Sports Network, their scores at the end of their halftimes. Parkview, huge lead over DeQueen, 57-7 at the half. Maumelle, a 15-6 lead over Pine Bluff. That's a great game. Don't go watch that game just yet. Maybe wait until this game's over to tune into that one. Benton with a 49-0 lead over Sylvan Hills at the half, and Mills with a 14-0 lead over Heber Springs at the half. And, of course, all 4 of those games are probably continuing on. So our director, Avery McMullen, is going to have an update for the score at some point. Pistol formation. For the Titans, a handoff to the running back. That was Jordan Cole. Mostly plays defense for the Titans. His first carry of the ball game. So it will be 3rd and 3. And they're a little generous on the scoreboard. 3rd and 2. From about the 46-yard line. "15 seconds left on the play clock. 27 seconds left on the game clock for the rest of this 3rd quarter. Man in motion. Handoff again to the running back, and nothing there. Tackle for loss. This time it is Brandon Ellis, a sophomore lineman, recording his first tackle of the season. And the Titans just going to let the clock drain for the rest of the quarter. And now we will head into the 4th quarter of play, so don't go anywhere. We have more Senator football right after this. And welcome back to the Robinson Sports Network. We still have the 4th quarter left to play in this game as the Senators have a dominant lead over the hometown Jacksonville Titans. Ball going deep, looking for his man downfield. A number of flags. He was looking for Keyshawn Glenn. And it was number 31, Beva Patel, in coverage for the Senators. He didn't quite have his head turned around quick enough and was definitely holding on the play. So pass interference, and now the Titans will have solid field position. So another score update thanks to our director Avery McMullen. So Parkview still has a 57-7 lead. Still with plenty of time remaining in the third quarter, as that play is going to a big play on first down for the Titans. Maumelle still has a 15-6 lead with 10-17 left to play in the third quarter. Sylvan Hills still trailing Benton 49-0 with 3:15 remaining in the third. And Mills with a 21-0 lead over Heber Springs with 7:20 left to play in the third quarter. So it's not just Robinson having some success tonight across the state and a part of the Natural State Sports Network and the PCSSD, as that is going to be a big loss for the Titans, about a yard or two. That was Jordan Cole on the carry. Two receivers on either side. Cole in the backfield to the right of Ball. Ball looking left to pass. He might be running it here. He's rolling. He's going to run. Doesn't get anything. If anything, he lost a yard. He was tracked down by number 33's Sam Skalingi. And that will bring up fourth down. So the Titans had really good field position off a pass interference call, but they have not been able to take advantage and make the Senators pay. But the Titans will be going for it on fourth down. They're going to hand off to Cole. Cole, let's see where they mark him down. That may be just good enough for a first down. Yes, that will be first down for the Titans. I believe that could just be the second or third first down of the ball game for Jacksonville. But a solid run on fourth and manageable by Jordan Cole. Ball looking for his man. He's got Glenn open. Glenn is tackled down at the 22-yard line. Jake Witten, one of the Senators, in to make the tackle. Witten, another one of those younger players, sophomore, that was a part of a really good JV squad last year. Had his first tackle on varsity in the win over Watson Chapel. Man in motion. And that play is going to result. That's going to be a great play for the Titans. They may be just short of the first down. So it will be third and short. Actually, they're going to call it second and short. Second and 1 from the 8-yard line. Hand off to Cole, and Cole is lit up. Oh, that ball is free. Let's see if they mark him down. I think they will. Cole still is yet to get up off the field. But what a hit by the Senator front line. I wish I knew who laid that hit, but it might have been number 56, Blaze Anderson. If it is, that's his first tackle of the season. Jordan Cole still down on the field for the Titans. Well, while the training staff checks him out, we're going to take a quick break. We have some bills to pay. Don't go anywhere. We'll have more football after this break. $42-0 is still your score. Jordan Cole helped off the field by a few trainers, and he's going to go to the medical tent, be checked out by the medical staff. And Ball on third down was looking for his receiver. As Keyshawn Glenn was open, he just was overthrown. So that will bring up fourth down and 4 from the 11-yard line. 4:35 and counting down left on the fourth quarter clock. Chase Taggart in the backfield, one of the plays some offensive line as well for the Titans, but he's playing running back to the right of Ball. Ball pressured. There is a flag on the field, multiple flags, but if it stands, I'm not sure if it will, but that was a big sack for Blaze Anderson. We will see what the call is. Actually, that could have been Mike Daniels as well. It was either one of the sophomores. Let's see what the penalty is. And unfortunately, it was a fast face mask on the defense, but there was a false start on the offense. So the play will be replayed. Unfortunately, if it was either Anderson or Daniels who recorded the sack, it won't count. But the coach will recognize that was a great play. Another flag on the field as that pass is complete. That will be a first down as it stands. Let's see what the penalty is. Now, it's going to be a legal formation on the offense, so it will back them up. They will replay fourth down. You could tell as soon as Marion Ball threw that pass and it was completed, as soon as he saw the flag, he knew it was coming back. Pistol formation for the Titans. Ball, pressure coming, lobs it to his man. It's as it stands, no flag on the field, but that ball was picked off by number 27, Trenton Coleman, his first interception of his varsity career. Congratulations, Trenton Coleman. That's something that not a lot of players do, especially when they're playing behind a really good DB room like the Senators have. But Trenton Coleman, mobbed by his teammates on the sideline after recording his first career interception. But that is the second interception of the game thrown by Marion Ball, and the clock continues to tick on down as Reese Simpson and the offense can just take a couple of knees. They will take the handoff right away early on, which does turn out to be some positive yards. Looks like that was number 16, Darnell Clark, who plays a good amount on defense for the Senators. He had his first carry of the season in their win over Watson Chapel. It only went a couple of yards, but he gets about 6 yards on that carry. Simpson hands it off again to his running back. It's Bryson Cunningham. There is a flag on the field, and he's finally dragged down and stopped by a number of defenders. Brian Johnson, one of them, along with number 44, Audric O'Neal, in for the stop. There is a face mask on the offense. Second down will be replayed. I'm not sure the offense will want to have another play. That's exactly what will not happen. So the offense leaves the field, and they will be leaving the field victorious here at Titans Stadium, their fourth win on the season. And just a couple more seconds before it is official, and it is official. The Joe T. Robinson Senators come away with a huge win over their conference opponent in the Jacksonville Titans. Win number 4 on the season, so the Titans will fall to 1-4. The Senators will go to 4-1 on the season. This is Escola's first win against the Titans in his coaching career. Of course, the Titans and the Senators will see each other a couple more times throughout their time here in the 5A Central. But the Senators welcoming them to their new conference with a massive win here in Jacksonville, 42-0 to be exact. And again, the Senators got it done on the 3 sides of the football. Usually 2 sides, but we're going to include special teams. They had a huge punt, was a block punt, returned for a touchdown by Tank Reese. Deuce Williams picked off a pass, took it back to the house for 6. So, that's, of course, a pick 6. And then 4 touchdowns by the offense, 2 on the ground, 1 by Deuce Williams, another by Jordan Thomas to open up the game. And then 2 receiving touchdowns, 1 by Tatum Hayes, and then 1 by Jaden Todd. But what a finish for the Senators here in enemy territory. And bear with us for just a moment. We won't have score updates from the other schools in the PCSSD and from around the Natural State Sports Network. But the Senators will be back at home on Friday. Well, they will be hosting the Whitehall Bulldogs in what will be the first of a 3-game homestand. For the Titans, this was their last home game before they head back onto the road against Searcy. They will have one more home game on the 18th versus Maumelle before they have 3 straight road games. So they're going to run through the gauntlet towards the end of the season. Let's see if Eric Allen is able to prepare his team for that. This was definitely a tough matchup against Joe T. Robinson, who Hooten's picked to be the number 1 team in the 5A Central. And so far this season, it's looking like it. They currently hold the top spot in the conference, and they're currently one of the top teams in the 5A classification. So let's go ahead and have a final score updates from the other schools in the PCSSD and a part of the Natural State Sports Network. Parkview, 66-7 lead over DeQueen with plenty of time in the fourth quarter. Maybe not plenty of time for DeQueen to come back, but plenty of time for Parkview to add another score. Maumelle with a 21-6 lead with 3:17 left to play in the third quarter. That's a pretty good game. You probably should go tune in to that one now that this one's over. Mills, 34-0 lead with 1:53 left to play in the third quarter over Heber Springs. And Sylvan Hills trailing 49-0 with 1:25 left to play in the fourth quarter. Well, from all of us here at the Robinson Sports Network, I myself, your play-by-play commentator, Chris Gay, Avery McMullen, our director, and Caden Smith, our cameraman. Thank you for tuning in to the Robinson Sports Network. We will see you again next Friday where the Senators will take on Whitehall. Until then, stay safe and go Senators.